let's have some fun.
All right, dudes, we're live right this very second. And so, with that being said, I'm Lady Fantastic. We got Dan Torre with us, and we've got Rob Worst. Not near a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Marvel, because we all like Marvel. Dan, how old were you when you first started reading Marvel?
I believe I was 11. In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. This was the very, very first comic I bought in 1976. It's Hulk 197. It's pretty beat up, maybe a 2.0. But you know what? This is the very first comic I ever bought. I still have it. This is by far the most sentimental book. And by the way, this is a winner. This is a Bernie Wrightson cover. And I noticed right away how different it was from the other Marvel comics.
Beautiful.
Because as most of us know, the Bernie Wrightson was a co-creator of Swamp Thing. And so he had influence in this Man-Thing cover. This is Hulk versus Man-Thing, and over here is the Collector. And it was a Sal Buscema art. I instantly fell in love with it and was a Hulk fan ever since. But this is where it all started. I bought it at a 7-Eleven in my hometown of Oakland, California.
Off a spinner rack?
Spinner rack.
Good times. So, do you remember any other books that were on the rack at the same time you bought that?
Fantastic Four 168. And sadly, a friend of mine said, "Hey, did you get 166 and 167? That was a Thing versus Hulk battle." I said, "No, it wasn't there." He said, "Damn it, if you can find it." Later, of course, I grabbed him. But no, that was the second book I bought. Then I think Defenders 40, 38, 37, something like that. And yeah, there you go. Great. By the way, that's a very underrated key. Very affordable.
Oh yeah, all of them are. So yeah, you guys. This is if you guys can find it. Fantastic Four had a great battle. Thing in the Hulk in issues 166 and 167. Just as Dan mentioned, he also said this was on the rack at the same time.
That's right.
That's pretty cool stuff, man. That's really
great story. That was a great storyline, and I think as the movie finally, we get closer to the FF movie, all that's going to start coming to the forefront.
Yes, Queen, let it happen. Rob, you want to talk to us about the first time you read a Marvel comic?
Oh wow, the first time I read a Marvel comic was Daredevil because I was in the hospital.
How old were you?
I was 7 years old. It was 1987. And I was in the hospital, and it was one of those little briberies. Please don't tell your mom, otherwise we'll get a divorce. But now my mom's no longer with us. So, hey, guess what, everybody? I can tell the story. So I was out hunting with my uncle because at the age of 7, they thought, hey, the kid over here might wind up being not of the heterosexual sex. So let's butch him up by flying him out to Colorado to my mother's brother to go hunting. It's 1987. There's no Game Boy. I'm like, I gotta go pee. I wander off, and I'm behind some bushes. My uncle, the drinking game. So, that over there. Hits me in the side. I'm taken to the hospital. This is the first time I die. So I'm at the hospital. I'm promised a Nintendo. That's how I got that bribery.
Okay. Nintendo.
My mom's going to be okay with that. She lived her entire life without me. My uncle shot me. So my dad would bring me comic books. And the first things that he was bringing me, because he would go to the shop that was around the corner from the hospital. Hey, what would a kid like? I don't know. These. Daredevil, Born Again. Those issues.
Okay. Wow. Do you remember what issue numbers?
I still have it. It's over here. It's the one with the fire and Nuke on the cover.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
I know. It's not coming to mind.
I can go pull it.
As you tell the story, though, I'm thinking, wait a minute. I just got shot, and I've got this guy dead to rights here to keep me quiet. What I want? Have you heard of Amazing Fantasy 15? Go find a couple and bring them over to me. And I'll suddenly.
I didn't know any better. I was just getting introduced to comics. My dad just wanted to keep me entertained. They didn't even have a TV in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
So we were talking earlier backstage about regrets of things that we maybe got rid of earlier in our collecting career. And Dan, you want to share your story of
Well, I've told
angst?
this story before, and when I bought and sold over the years, and I made very bad financial choices, especially in comic books. And I've had in my career, I've had 3 Amazing Fantasy 15s, 3 or 4 Tales of Suspense 39s. I've had literally everything. I mean, Fantastic Four 1, X-Men 1, and then sold them at a wrong time when you just, things went bad, got laid off, whatever. Well, the last sale of AF-15 was about 9 or 10 years ago. I sold 2 Tales of Suspense 39s, an AF-15, and a bunch of very, very expensive comics. And it didn't take very long to realize what a stupid decision that was and how painful that was because I could never get it back. And I thought, well, okay, that was that. I made a decision. About a year later, I started to collect comic books again. And I thought, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to set a budget. I'm never going to cross that budget. I'm going to be realistic about things. And that was the beginnings of my collecting about 8 years ago. Excuse me. So when I finally bought,
So tell us, how has that worked out for you so far?
Fantastic. I mean, my collection, even though I don't have my Amazing Fantasy 15 anymore, I think it's a far smarter collection because I have comics I never would have thought of. And I didn't realize how the market had grown without me because I didn't do my research. In fact, one of the things I learned along the way, I didn't know what this was. I'm a big Hulk fan, so I bought this Hulk 141, and it's a mid-grade. I paid maybe $50 or $60 for it, but it came in this weird plastic container here. I didn't know what it was. I thought, wow, what is this? And then that was my introduction to the CGC market and the slab market. And
oh wow!
Now when I was buying mostly on eBay, raw comics were still more prominent than slabs. We all know that CGC started in the year 2000. They really accelerated in the last, 5 years or so. Now they have dominated this market. They've accelerated this market, and they've made a huge impact on the market overall. And I was very taken by this. I thought, God, this is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's really, really well presented. And even though they have issues right now, no pun intended, they still dominate the slab market because I think CBCS is probably a very distant second. But I don't think CGC is going away anytime soon.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I'm just trying to put my computer on mute because I want to pull this up so I can see in the background because that's how I roll. Nope, wrong one. Boom. Rob, tell us something about comics.
Something about comics. Well, I just said those words, so now I get to show a couple books, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I remember watching a long time ago, Silver Age Dave. He was one of the people that kind of got me to start doing videos. Not because he told me to, but because he was one of the first people I was watching.
Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, I like him. He's a really pleasant individual.
He's a good guy.
Is he still producing?
He's still putting out videos. I don't know if it's all the time, but
he's buddies with and he's buddies with Metarog. So they've gone up. I don't know if you know Roger Metarog from. No. Oh man, you've got to subscribe. let me just type in this. He is a veritable cornucopia of comic knowledge. This man is such a asset. But yeah, I typed his name in on YouTube, but I highly suggest you adding him as a channel and check him out.
I'll check it out. Yeah,
he's a good guy. You're a really kind guy. Anyways, Rob.
All right, here we go. So one of his stories was talking about Thor, and when he was young, he had a neighbor that was into Thor, and his brother was also into it. So at like $5 a pop, he was like, "Yep, I'm gonna grab this one and this one and this one and this one," and they were all in great condition. And he just always knew from a young age that he should be getting early issues of Thor and Journey into the Mystery. So I wound up running into somebody that had a bunch of that. They kind of harassed the hell out of me until they got their last $100, but they're all fully paid back. So here's that entire run. I mean, it's not a full run or anything, but there's a lot of really good stuff. This one here, though, I think I got from Old Wolf.
Old Wolf's cool.
That is going to be a really, really deep. If they pick the right character for Hercules, like a Jason Momoa did with Aquaman. We used to make fun of Aquaman because he was Aquaman. Not anymore. But Jason Momoa changed all that.
You buff.
Yeah.
What's up,
Yeah, Jeff
Punk?
Johns was trying to write a good storyline where he was trying to say, Aquaman has about the power level of Superman, but people just think he talks to fish. But no matter what, unless he casted the proper person, he's still a joke. First appearance on a cover for Korvac. His first actual appearance is in Defenders Giant Size #3.
Ooh, I don't
this
have
is
that.
his origin.
I need that one. I don't have that.
Be careful, though, and check your copy before you purchase. I got mine for $75 about 3 years ago, and it did not have a Marvel value stamp.
Ooh. Ouch.
That happens because even I make mistakes. My last name's worse. There's a reason why. This is a little bit more modern. I'm just showing the first ones that are the annuals.
Yeah.
So this is a Kang annual.
Right.
It was hinted at, hey, lady told me, get this. I saw it in a shop. I picked it up.
Citizen Kang, 1 through 4.
Yeah.
All the annuals running through that year, we're getting it. Okay, here's a first couple of the Journey into the Mysteries. And this one here features, I believe, the first cover of Balder.
Oh, wow. Put it up closer. I want to see. I'm curious.
Those are just, you cannot go wrong with any one of those.
No.
That would be him on the horse back there.
Okay, of course.
It's kind of like on that one issue of, it has Dr. Faust on it, and it's supposed to be the first partial appearance of Peggy Carter, but it's the back of her head, and there's like a widow's veil over her. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Here's a Loki cover. This is a very cheap pickup. This one would be like the first Norn Stones.
Okay. I like that one.
I'll just go through the ones I have through Journey into the Mystery and let one of y'all.
Journey into the Mystery.
Again, each of those is a classic.
Is Kirby greatness?
And it's just hard to get your hands on, man.
They're complete too. Oh, okay. This cover is probably runner-up for one of his worst covers. And I'm sorry, Kirby fans, but Jesus.
That doesn't bother me that much. It doesn't.
Think that's a bad Hulk?
I don't even know what it is.
That's the Absorbing Man.
That's Absorbing Man?
Yeah, see the chain with his ball and chain?
I see now. Yep.
Yeah.
I will absolutely take your word for it.
I believe well, is that the ball right there? Or just to the left? That is the Absorbing. Yeah.
Yeah, it
is.
Hey, do I have that?
Mars?
Yeah.
All right, this cover is a absolute classic.
Yes. Yeah.
I can recognize him.
Very simple sort of buildings going on. Everything's out of scale, but it's just beautifully constructed.
What up, Ace?
Hey, Ace. Not smoking. Journey into the Mystery 122.
I love that one too.
Yeah.
My ultimate dream would be to get a Journey into Mystery 102 first Hella.
I'm going to work on all those eventually. In fact, that one that I was talking to you about, wondering if I should get it or not, that happened.
Yeah, that's nice.
Very, very nice.
One more. This is the last issue of Journey into the Mystery before they move on into Mighty Thor, which I have the next consecutive issue of.
Yeah.
Hey, Rose Gray.
Badass.
All right, throwing it over to one of you.
All right, Dan, do you want to show us some stuff from your firebox?
Sure. The way I will go about this is that when I started my collection again 8 years ago, the comic market was slowly creeping up a little bit, but then in 2019, 2020, there was a huge spike, and the comic market boomed. And if you didn't get your comics by the end of 2020 or beginning of 2021, they absolutely accelerated. One of the big topics today is the market and heavy inflation. Everything's expensive as hell. and it's having a mixed reaction in the comic market. Now, if you're a comic collector, whether you realize it or not, you're part of a very, very large market. The comic market changes. I forgot to look this up before getting on the show. I'm just going to throw out a guess. Tens of millions of dollars, if not more, or hundreds of millions of dollars change hands every single year in the comic market. So you're part of a very large market. And if you are on a budget like myself and you want to buy on a budget, I was always looking for deals. So the first one I bought that I could afford, and again, staying on a budget, was this one here.
Wow.
Fantastic 448. And
I just
it was
looked this up. Sorry. It
Go ahead.
says that the global comic book market size is projected to be worth more than $12.8 billion by 2028.
Not surprising. Not surprising. It's and the great news for that is that means there's a huge market share. And even though we're going to go, I think the economy is going to continue to go downhill for at least a year or so. That doesn't mean the market's going to go away. It just means you have to adjust like any other market. But back to this one here. This was the first one I got because I wanted to get the ball rolling again regarding my collection. I paid $600 for this at the time. This was 8 years ago. Now that's a steal because this is maybe a 5 to 6.0. But I made a mistake and I didn't see it until just about a few months ago. The center page is missing, and it was an advertisement page. It doesn't affect the story, but if I sent this to CGC, this would be a green label. And instead of this being, let's say, a $2,500 to $3,000 book, this is now maybe half of that. Who knows? But I still have my first Silver Surfer, and as a big Defenders fan, he was a founding member.
Again, do you think it's okay to have one where you know in advance that your copy has restoration?
Purple shoe.
Or ones where people took a, what do you call it, a Sharpie to it?
Sharpie, yes, yeah, the restoration. Well,
I'm okay with it just because I have one, and that's just how I feel. How do you feel if you've discovered or knew in advance?
Well, here, you bring up a good point here. I'm going to mute myself for a second because the plastic is a bit
cumbersome.
Well, it's loud, and I don't want to, it's because my microphone's right here. I love having this particular comic, and I knew exactly what it was because it said it was Fantastic Four number 12, and it's a purple label.
What's purple mean?
It is restored. It's got some issues to it. In this particular case, it says top edge trimmed. Some people really can't stand that. It's got tape, and a few other things, I guess. But they call it an apparent 1.5. But you know what I paid for this? $300. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to say no to this. I don't really care. I think
all day long, baby.
I've seen these go for $1,200 that were trash.
That's
because
history.
Of what it is. Yeah, it is. It is
history, bro.
I think, and we see this on the hunt, that guys will make fun of the purple label. And I think, you know what? That's we are not serving this community if we tell them, hey, avoid the purple or green label. A lot of it depends on how it's restored or what's missing, like the Marvel value stamp out of a Hulk 181. We'd all take that any day of the week. Yeah. All right.
Look, it depends on like your perspective and I guess what you can or can't afford. But this is what I say. A book is a book is a book. And as someone on a limited budget, I would be more than happy to own such a beauty.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've seen there's a company called Slabs.com. They're one of the sponsors for some of the comic shows that we have on YouTube, and they're profiling a 9.6 of this, and I can't even imagine what that's worth. But you know what? And what they're doing is that some of the larger companies are buying the high grade, pristine copies and then selling them as shares. So you would own, let's say this is a 9.8, and we're selling 1,000 shares of this, so you could be a part owner of this book.
Wow.
I don't know if I'd do that. I would rather buy one share, $300 to buy this. I'm the 100% owner. I don't have to share this with anybody. I'd take this any day of the week over that suggestion.
This one is laminated. Someone laminated the cover and back cover.
You're kidding.
Stuck it back on.
Still,
I think it was Old Wolf that I got it from. I can't remember, and I'm sorry, it's been a while.
No, I think you got it from Old Comic Smell.
There you go, that Old Comic Smell. Thank you, and I'm sorry I forgot.
Yeah,
it happens. I'm old and I forget.
Yeah.
So he talked to Jim Lee, and even Jim Lee said, no, don't try and get that unlaminated. Just keep it the way it is. It's the character of the book. That's just the way that some people did stuff like that way back then. So
That's
I'm
true.
just
That's
happy
true.
to have it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it looks shiny, but it's because someone laminated it.
Yep. You want to show any more, or
I'll just show a couple more that we'll rotate. The
Okay.
one book I didn't sell because I couldn't. This is the one that survived the sale of the Amazing Fantasy 15 was this one here, Fantastic Four #3, and the reason why was because back in I think it was 1998, I was at the Oakland's WonderCon, and Bob Kane from Batman fame was the headliner, but he got sick and didn't show up to the con. The second guy on the bill was Stan Lee. And back in those days, Stan Lee, you could just walk up to him and just I was very shy in those days as a young man, and I walked up to him and I said, "Sir, would you sign this?" And he said, "Yeah." So what he did was he opened the cover. He was left-handed. He signed it. He very carefully closed it. And he said, "Good, I didn't tear it." And we had a little laugh, and that was my Stan Lee moment. And then I walked around the convention floor, and just to see what I could see, and I'm looking at the corner. There's Stan Lee all by himself with one guy talking to him, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. This is Stan Lee. Where are the thousands of people that should be, mobbing this guy? That happened later in his life, but back then when this was signed, it was a different time. But because of the sentimental the sentimental moment that I had, I simply couldn't get rid of this. I'll never get rid of it. So
yeah,
That's the first time they're in costume. That's like next to Doctor Doom, even one of the ones I'd want the most.
Yeah. So, lady, what do you got?
I'm gonna show you guys some things that are some favorites of mine. Now this isn't Silver Age. This isn't even. This is Copper, but I still don't care.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
I love the Stan Lee and Mobius Silver Surfer. It's the 2-issue run. It's so good. Mobius is an excellent artist from Europe. Is it France? I'm not exactly sure where he's at, but he's a European guy and just top of the game. This is John Byrne, Silver Surfer. This is another one shot that is really, really good. And I enjoy my cosmic entities quite a bit, and continuing on with cosmic events and cosmic entities. I really like Carol Danvers, and in this issue of Captain Marvel, she is exposed to the strange waves given off from the ship or whatever it is. Is it not Magneton, something like that?
Magnetron. And that is a sharp copy.
Yeah.
Is that the male version of Captain Marvel?
This is Marvel, yes.
Okay.
But Carol Danvers is in this, and this is when she first gets exposed.
Oh, I did. Okay, that I didn't know. All right.
To get her powers.
It's the same guy as this, but that's the updated costume.
Right. I like the red costume better, but yeah, okay.
Me too,
Yeah. So, yeah, this is her origin of her powers or whatever. This, man, this is 1977. Ernie Chan. I love Sentinels. I don't care what you say. Champion 17. Like, some of these issues just don't get the attention that they deserve.
That whole Champions run, I bought #1 for literally $40 in a CGC 8.5. The problem with that series was that it's felt to me at the time, because I was around in 76, it was just a collage of characters with no direction. In fact, I read one of the letters to the editor, and I forget the guy who was the writer of that series. He basically didn't. It seemed like he really didn't know what to do with that series. He had a bunch of great talent, but didn't know how to form them as a team.
Yeah, well, hell of a cover.
Especially because everyone's a Ghost Rider fan. I love Ghost Rider.
Yeah, and then here we go. Neil Adams. This is he did He did the cover and all of the interiors of this issue.
Mm.
So that's why that's a special book to me, and one that won't be leaving my collection, even though like it's beat to heck. It's not about condition.
How
This
did
is
the
another
woman get
one that's
writhing on the floor?
not about condition for me. I got this from HGM Law, but talk about Jack Kirby coming back to Marvel. And not a lot of people. I'm not sure if a lot of people know or don't know that this is a Kirby run, but I mean, you can definitely get some great Jack Kirby stuff on the cheap still. And Devil Dinosaur is an example of that. I also love the current iteration of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It's just absolutely excellent. And here's some good Wally Wood the Cat, man. And I love it. This is just another book that I got from a member in the community, HGM Law. He has sadly passed, but the reason why these mean so much to me is because I got them from him, and he was a great guy, and these are great books, and it's just little things like that. I think that people, when you talk about sentiment, the stories that we have associated with the books.
Let me ask you about that cat story, because that's on the list to get that. Now, I'm a Defenders fan, and Hellcat was a prominent member, but that's not the Hellcat, is it?
This isn't Hellcat, but this is Patsy Walker.
Oh, same character. Okay.
Yes, so she's not Hellcat yet. She's Hellcat in Avengers 144. That's when she first, right, Rob?
That one is Tigra.
Which one is Tigra?
She's Tigra.
The cat is Tigra?
Cat's Tigra.
Okay, there you go. That's a cat. There you go. Then they're separate. What's her name?
Greer.
Right. Yeah.
Greer,
So
why can't I remember the last name?
Yeah.
So she becomes. So let me get this straight. She becomes Tigra later. She becomes Tigra later on.
Yeah, in like Marvel Creatures.
Yeah, it's Marvel Super Chillers or something.
Okay, I never. Yeah, because as a kid, I only had so much money. You don't have much money when you're a kid, and comics are 25 cents each. So if you had $3, you've got 11 or 12 issues because you got to pay for tax, and that's all you can. You want to buy everything on that spinner rack, but you can't. So I had to say goodbye to some, and those are some of the ones I wanted to get. And just I wanted to catch up and never did.
Greer Nelson.
Yes, that's the name. That's it.
Greer. There we go.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. And see, Linda Fight is the writer. Marty Severin and Wally Wood, the artists. And I mean, it doesn't get better than that, man. Look at this.
Marvel was always big about trying to push female heroes, and even had artist Marie Severin working on the book. And unfortunately, I only went 4 issues, and I'm still looking for that 4th.
Well, the Marvel was always ahead of the curve. In the 70s, they recognized the rise of feminism, and they wanted to give equal time, and all these female characters were popping up. Most were pretty successful, actually, and because they had good writing, good stories. Not everything turned to gold, but still, I recognized that movement. Yeah, and they also recognized diversity. There were more black characters. For example, when there was a friend of mine who worked at the 7-Eleven, he was a black guy, really nice guy. We talk about comics, and he was delighted when Iron Man 170 pops up and James Rhodes takes over as Iron Man. Yeah,
sure.
I still say that's to this day an underrated book.
I would posit 169 when he first puts on the outfit. Doesn't drop the helmet on, but intent matters.
Right.
Dude, you like the Invaders? I'm a big Invaders fan as well.
Yes, it's again. I have so much catching up to do with that series, the Hellcat series, so many others, and I'm years behind on my reading.
We all are, dude.
It's embarrassing.
So Dan, is it Dan that we started off with, and then Rob?
No, Rob would be next.
Okay, Rob, you're up to bat, brother. Do you want to show us
more Thor?
Show us some swag.
Why not?
I love the Fumetti book.
I still need
commentary.
When they give Thor its own title.
Yeah. I need all those.
I need it.
Wow.
I need it right now.
Next up, we have 132.
Yeah.
Got MODOK in the background.
He's got legs at least.
Looks a little bigger, a little
Yeah.
different from. I know I have it here somewhere.
Yeah, you can't read them all. Well, you try though.
MODOK.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I'm aware of him as.
He's like a little football in there.
He looks like Kyle, like Stan's brother from South Park.
You know, what's sad about MODOK started out to be a very serious character, and then he became kind of a joke, mostly because of the animation. But
well, that just got canceled, so
okay,
unfortunately, we're not going to get to see another season where they could correct that.
That's too bad. Oh man, oh, you're killing me with that one. That's one of the ones
years ago.
Oh, see, that's one of the ones on the list, and I passed up to get other things, and then you regret it because now it's pretty up there. I'm gonna have to wait till after the movie, assuming they. Do you think is he supposed to appear in the new Thor movie?
He's supposed to, but not as a villain.
Okay. High evolutionary.
Wow. You get a shot of him in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Have you seen that, Dan?
I did. Where was that in the movie?
So you need to go, but like remember. So they remember when he and America were crashing through all the different realities.
Right.
One of them. Oh wait, I'm thinking Living Tribunal.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I did see
Not
that.
bad.
All right.
That one's a classic.
Look at the detail of Kirby's art. I mean, look at that.
I know. I covet.
And there was a guy I saw, I forget who it was, who Comic Tropes did a profile on the guy who did the cleanup art. He erased so much of the detail of Kirby's art.
Coletta.
Yes.
He would erase entire backgrounds, buildings, people.
Lazy ass.
Well,
he wasn't awful. He was just on time.
That's the thing. It was production. It was a production house. You got to get the comic out.
Still makes me sad, dude.
Yeah.
That one's a good one.
I still need a 156 and a 158, 59.
Ooh,
that's a great one.
Ooh, look at that!
Galactus.
Oh, you're gonna hate me in a second.
Yeah, I know which one's.
Now, the resentment is building already.
I know. There's a lot of.
No, that's
I've
nice.
been working on this for a long time.
Yeah, that's great. No, I'm an admirer. I'm admiring. I love everything I'm seeing here.
I didn't get these in the last year or the last 2 years or the last 5.
Right. Yeah.
More than the last decade.
I'm with you. I've been storing a lot of Silver Age keys or just good old Silver Age run for decades. So I don't have that one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I got this from a junkie.
Better
Not
than
a joke.
Yeah. Wow.
Someone who smoked falaka.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
It's okay. That's something that until I heard about it on one of these 60 Minutes kind of shows, I never wanted to know what it is, and I would be okay if I have never heard it in my entire life. I'd do okay with that.
Yeah.
Isn't it some weirdo form of, I mean, it's not like meth, but some fucked up shit.
It's kind of like meth crack, but it causes you to start itching at your skin. It turns scaly, and it starts coming off necrotically.
You know, it gives you a crocodile.
Yeah.
That's what it called. Flocka or crocodile. In Russia, they call it crocodile.
It's totally an aside. By the way, I have both those. Those are gorgeous, gorgeous books and great reads. You hear about people that destroy themselves by doing the drugs and all. I saw it firsthand, and it's sad to see someone go downhill. And really?
I went to school with her, which was the thing that was the most upsetting.
Oh, it's too bad.
Also gave her a lot of money to try and help in the situation until I found out it was Flocka.
Yeah,
there are lots of
great cover.
Like models talking about addiction, and that behind it, a lot of time it has to do with early trauma.
First Fire Lord, yes. Oh,
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful. Because no one's born an addict, and so people seek out those things to escape pain.
Right.
Mhm.
That is beautiful. I also hate you for having that. So
That's
Practice
gorgeous.
in shorts.
he's a hottie.
But
Galactus
not as
never
much as
misses leg day.
Hercules.
Yeah. That was always fun when they teamed Hercules up with Thor. That's why I think that Journey into Mystery Annual 1 is so underrated still.
They're bros. Oh, 229. That's the one with the Wolvie.
And make sure that the value stamp isn't cut out.
Isn't there an advertisement in
Yes.
that particular for
Hulk
For
181.
Wolverine. For Hulk
Hulk
181.
181? Okay, yeah. All right.
Yep. That's
There's
what
this, and then there's the Iron Man number 115, I believe.
I think. What about the Daredevil?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Daredevil 115, I think.
Okay.
All right, last couple, and I'll throw it over to you.
That's great.
I do not have the Teeth Masher. I don't have that stupid one with the red scarab.
I want the stupid one with the red scarab.
I
do
have
too.
I paid cover price for it. It was just part of the run,
Yeah, you're right.
I'll wait for that one.
Yeah.
People will forget in
It's
2 or
gonna
3
go
months.
down fast, and I'll get it.
All right,
Oh,
that's the
classic
last one.
Loki. Very cool. Dan, you got some more fire books.
I've got a lot of fire books here, and continuing on the theme of my thought process at the time over the 8-year run, and I couldn't, speaking of Hulk 181, at the time I didn't have the money. I probably should have saved up for that 181, but I did thought, well, you know what? This is pretty reasonable. Let's get a Hulk 180, and I paid $200 for this. And I knew long before anybody else that people were saying that this was the poor man's Wolverine. It does have the stamp, by the way. I can say I have the first opinion. I can have the first opinion of Wolverine. Now, as regarding the cameo thing, I'll throw out my 2 cents with that. It's been a controversy. My understanding of the word cameo is it is a person who is known to the world, an entertainer usually. It's a theatrical word that shows up in a brief appearance that everyone knows who he or she is, and that is a cameo. Then that person goes away. And the example I use is the movie Zoolander, where David Bowie shows up. He makes a brief little appearance. Everyone knows who David Bowie is. That's great. And he goes away. There was a Zoolander 2 where there was no David Bowie. So that to describe that as a cameo in Zoolander 1 is correct. Before this particular issue here, there was no advertisement, no suggestion. No one had ever seen the character Wolverine until the last panel of this particular book. It's the first appearance, the first brief appearance, is how I would describe it, not a cameo, because he's never been seen before. It bothers me about descriptions in the comic world or in general. Words do mean things, and it's one of my pet peeves. But in my opinion, it's not going to change anything. I don't know where this, because you look at the Marvel Universe series that they did in the 80s, describing when they try to do a history of everything. They describe this as Wolverine's first appearance, and they don't say cameo. So anyway, but that was $200 for that one. Being on a budget, and by the way, I got this cover price.
Wow.
I bought it off the rack, $194, and it's pretty nice shape. Again, just storing these, they started to pop up as, hey, that's a key, that's a key. But I at the time had $1,000 was my maximum purchase. Not that I had $1,000 for every purchase. That was a rare purchase, but that was realistic for me regarding my finances. And I did find this for just under $1,000, an Avengers 1. Now, this is heavily worn. It's maybe a 2.0. It's got tape on it. It has been restored. Somebody did some decent restoration, but it's a complete Avengers 1. I do have it in my collection, and I can always say, wow, it's there. I did pick up a really nice Avengers 2 for about $450. This was in really good shape. And Avengers 3, look at the deep blue colors on this one here. And this just a great story. I have an Avengers 4 that I'll talk about in a minute. And this one I got at a Comic-Con about 4 or 5 years ago, Avengers 7. And anyway, so at least I have a decent Avengers run that I can say I have, and I'm not going to get rid of it. I'll just throw out a couple more.
Comics wrong.
Let's go to some substance. Forgive the plastic thing in the background. Probably my best purchase of a Grail that was on a budget was this one here, and it's Avengers 4. and it's a CBCS 4.0. It's been signed by Stan Lee. There's the signature there. Anybody knows what a Stan Lee signature is, but just by looking at it. I paid only $650 for this, and I'm thinking, you can't beat that. That they had one that was from CGC. My comic shop, which is a reliable source, had one, also a 4.0, and they wanted $2,800. So I got this for a fourth the price. So again, but what I had to do for this and the Avengers one.
What are the red labels?
That's their. Oh shoot. Verified signature.
Okay.
Verified, as opposed to their yellow one, which is a certified signature. Now this one is trimmed. The top has been trimmed. That doesn't bother me. I don't care. It's not a record reprint. It's the actual comic, and for the price, you just couldn't beat it. But my diligence is what put this collection together. And just looking for deals when I could see them. I'll throw out another one here. Rob had a Hulk 6. I got a Hulk 5. First Tyrannus. Yeah. So this cost me a couple $100, but it's not a great condition. It's maybe $2.5 or whatever, but I don't care. It's in my collection. That's how I looked at everything. I didn't have to have the 9.8. In fact, I think this is probably for the new comics, but there's such an over focus on the high grades. That's great if you can get them, if you can afford them. But if this isn't a 9.8, I don't care. This is in my collection. I can say this is part of the collection. It's there. I didn't pay a fortune for it. This one I got too. This one was pretty hot. Spotlight 5, and this one I paid just under $300 for it. Now you can't touch this for $1,500. I don't know what's going for.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. Oh, yeah. They're really pricey. Let me throw out 2 more, then we'll move on. Oh, here we go. $100 for this one.
People trimmed when they got frayed or messy.
Well, that brings up a point, because this one needs to. There's fraying on the top of this Journey to Mr. 103. But let's go back to this one here. There's a piece of corner. I don't know if I can. If my camera will pick it up, right? Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm doing this. This is my dyslexia kicking in here. Right here.
I see.
Right. Where is it? Wrong side. Right there.
Yep.
There's a piece of the cover that is loose. Now, if you put tape on it, then it gets a tape marking on CGC. And the question is, I don't want that piece going away. It's part of the cover. It's still attached. What do you do? Do you put tape on it to save this? Or if you get it restored, you'll still get a restored grade if you send it to CGC. I can't find anyone to give me advice one way or the other, because you can't keep taking this in and out. Eventually that piece is going to break off. The logical thing for me would be to put a piece of tape to restore it and leave it there. That way it stays intact. But then again, the market frowns upon that. So, what do you do?
Lady, we kind of ran into this problem about last year with Tales of Suspense, the second appearance of Black Widow. The corner was torn, and we just left it in the bag the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have it? Is it easily accessible?
Yeah. Give me a second, and I think I can grab it.
Figured out. Yeah. It's good.
I was just going to say that. You'll like this, because we talked about this on our last show. This was literally given to me by my sister. She said, she says, Dan, you love comics. Here, you have my X-Men. She didn't. I found this in it. It's a 9.8. First, what's his name? Gambit. This one,
cool.
Yeah, she's pretty. You'd love my sister. I got this the first Killing Joke, the green label. Got that at cover price when I was still collecting. But we had talked about Defenders, and I've been literally storing these for a while. Pardon my back. 17.
Mm-hmm.
This is perhaps a 9.8, and I'm terrified to even move this. It's in Mylar and the what do you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got a nice. Is that the 18 there? There's the 18.
Yep.
Also possible 9.8, and one that you haven't thought of is this one here, 15 and 16. That's the first appearance of Alpha, the Ultimate Mutant, and with the X-Men on their way, I can see Magneto created this character here. I can see Magneto doing that, to, just because that's what he would do. But that's an underrated, under the radar book right now. So who knows what they're going to do with the MCU? But that's an affordable book if you can find it in high grade.
I had Defenders 1 through, I want to say 22 straight run, except one book, and it's 17.
Okay, right,
Yep.
yeah.
So I just got I was missing 13, and I just got it. So, but
So, lady,
yeah.
what do you got? It's your turn.
All right, I'm gonna show you guys some stuff. Here we go. Some Bronze Age horror, I guess, and that's
I did find it.
like Astonishing Tales 21. We've got the Colossus, Godzilla, King Kong. So there's this first issue. I just like having this little run because we've got also this is a smaller key. And then issue 23 that I'm about to show is the second appearance of Bing Bang Boom.
I did not know that.
This is the second appearance ever.
Wow. Those books, I mean, you would see those in dollar bins for the longest time, but now there is a massive interest in that sort of thing. That genre has really taken off.
Yes.
And so, you're lucky to have your hands on them now.
Now, this I want to say is this might be, okay, this is the third appearance, and it may be the first cover appearance of Fin Fang Foom. Issue 24.
Well, I know it would not be the first cover because his first appearance.
First Silver Age appearance, post Silver.
Okay, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who did this cover art?
Let me see.
You can't look it up. I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm just going on my knowledge of it.
Okay.
There's a Kirby feel to it, but it's probably not Kirby. I don't think it's Marie Severin. I'm stumped. Who is it?
Larry Lieber.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
You know
Stan's brother.
Yeah, so Larry Lieber is Stan Lee's brother. So Stan Lee, his name was Stanley Lieber, and so he made. Okay, there you go. But that's one of my favorite books right here. I love this book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Astonishing Tales 24 is harder to find than you think.
Mm-hmm.
This is a special book to me. John Carter, Warlord of Mars, issue 18. This is the very first time Frank Miller works at Marvel and does some penciling at Marvel. And it's the first time that Frank Miller and Chris Claremont worked together on a comic.
Really?
And, shortly after this, they teamed up and put out that Wolverine mini. But this is where they first came to meet.
They just started that John Carter series again.
Ebb Dynamite, yeah, I saw that. All right, here's a really cool one. I don't have a ton of horror, but some of these I consider horror. This is a Werewolf by Night, number 9, with Tattered Malian, and it's signed by Roy Thomas and Jerry Conway.
Oh,
so that's one of my treasures. I'll never get rid of this one.
Did you have him sign it?
No, I got this from a friend who went to a con and got them to sign it.
Okay. I love Roy Thomas.
Same. And speaking of Roy Thomas, I also have a What If Rick Jones had become the Hulk, number 12.
Yeah.
Signed by Roy Thomas.
Wow.
And, it seems like What If is kind of polarizing. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I think they're fun.
Yeah, they are fun.
And then this one's kind of a low-key copper. Low-key copper key. The first appearance of Arno Stark. This is Tony's brother. Well, not this guy, but his brother first appears in this, and this is just beautiful Barry Windsor Smith art, and he's another titan of industry, in my opinion. So
And
that's
don't forget this issue to pick up. This is the Order issue number 8. This is first. It's the son, Ezekiel Stark.
okay. There
So
you
you
go.
got your bases covered for Armor Wars.
All right. Well, Rob, since that was all I had for that little stack. If Rob, you want to show us any more?
Well, since we were talking about the tape books, I mean, there's no, that's not the real thing. I wish. I'll get to this one day.
Facsimile.
So I picked this up from Lady Fantastic. I
Okay.
have not removed it from the bag yet. It's still in the original one. That's how much it was at the store. And when Lady went, it's $100. Is it worth it? And she didn't even have to wait. I PayPal'd her $100 immediately. So she said, it has a tear at the very top. And I went, yeah, I'm good with that. So as long as I leave it in here, I'm not going to futz around and screw it up even potentially worse. It's already in Mylar. Why change a good thing?
Yeah. So, hey, hold it up close and let Dan have a look. So here's his deal. Hold up to the corner. Literally the corner is not attached, but he just put it in to fit.
Oh, okay. Right.
So
I've done things like that where if you're putting a comic back into the Mylar and the bottom corner is folded, I'll just sort of gently fold it and sort of maneuver it, so hopefully it slides back in. It doesn't work every time,
no.
but it does help to if there's still enough paper fibers to keep that corner together. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
I have a Tales of Suspense number 49 coming, where it looks like it's about at least a 5.5, and really the big damage is the corner, which is still flipped up. Just take some. It's not that hard. I have them right here. Get some dental tools, where inside those dental tools, it'll have a little pick. You take the pick out and you use that to poke it back instead of your fingernail and potentially rip it off.
Ooh, yeah, I know. I'm so nervous about. I baby my comics, so I'm afraid to use anything metal.
Before I put anything into a bag, that's how I treat it. I make sure to clean it as much as I can. If it's an older book, I don't press yet. I'll get to that one day. Here is the first appearance of Hawkeye.
Oh yeah, that's
I
nice.
got this, I believe, from Whodat. It's either Whodat or maybe Chino. I can't remember anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Only real problem is not there. There's a piece torn off on the cover, which I'm totally okay with.
Oh,
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's a pretty sharp-looking book.
Yeah, I have one, but it's low grade.
Awesome, but fine.
It's maybe a 1.5, but at least I have it.
Yeah. I got some, I think, probably 12-cent X-Men from Whodat.
Third appearance of Hawkeye. I just got this earlier this year. This was, I think, maybe $79. Yeah.
It's a really great book.
Isn't that a second appearance?
Yeah. That's what he said.
Second. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so. What did you say it was? His second? I thought third.
Third, yeah,
Oh.
third, but yeah.
This I picked up from the crazy Russian who I thought might kill me.
Oh, the mobster.
Mobster, right.
Yeah.
The Russian
Now I'm going to
mobster.
jump over to Tales to Astonish. I only have 2 books. I need to rectify this year. And I know I'm trying to keep spending down, but at least most of these types of books aren't too bad. So here is the first time that Silver Surfer appears in a book that's outside Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Last page. But it's the issue that comes after is why I really wanted to get this. Marie Severin artwork on the cover.
Gosh, just gorgeous artwork.
This is one of those I picked up in the middle of a job where it was a deposition where they took a break, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's about ready to end. 2 minutes. It's like, okay, we're going to be coming back in a minute. Okay. Got it. Okay, I'm ready.
Look how crisp that is, though. What would you rate that?
I'd still take this at about maybe a 5.5 or so.
Really? It looks really way high grade from just. It looks better than ones I have.
It's
That's
the marble
nice.
chipping at the top.
Wow.
Same at the bottom.
Yeah.
Around the spine, there's a lot of heavy wear. But otherwise, the cover itself is pretty crisp. The back cover looks really nice, but I'm also a harsher grader.
Yeah.
On my own books, especially. So a couple other books, unless you just want to keep this really, really short. Out.
Show your stuff. I figure this will be like our last round.
Last
Okay.
hurrah, right here. We had a movie that just came out last week. Some people were specking on some stuff. I just had a lot of these. Here we go. We have Doctor Strange issue number 1.
Ugh,
Oh yeah.
Frank
Nice.
Bronner. I love it.
I picked this up about 4 years ago. By that point, he already had a movie or it was already in
That's
production.
another book that's shot up.
I think I got it for maybe $25. And that one's maybe about a 6.
You're lucky to get it for $2.25 now.
Yeah, now.
That one's
Issue
beautiful.
2.
Mm-hmm.
Jump to issue 3 with Dormammu. And I have all the Marvel premiere, is it? I have all those issues because I wanted to put together a full run because I'm crazy that way. Love this Bruner artwork.
Very nice. That's a great cover.
5, and then it jumps because I don't have anything between 5 and issue 35. You have Dweller in the Dark on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who the Dweller in the Dark was when I picked this up, and this was before any announcement was made in a movie, including him. I think it was given to me by Lady Fantastic.
For the Silver Surfer aggressively, I'm collecting the volume 3 one, the one that has like 146 issues. I'm collecting issues 100 through 146.
Yeah.
You get it for this. It is a origin story. And we're expecting some stuff going on with this, some vampires, specifically Dracula.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Blade appears in some of these last issues of Doctor Strange here.
Yes.
Because between these Doctor Strange issues and I think a Marvel Tales, he didn't appear for about a good decade in comics.
Blade? Or
Yeah.
Dr. Oh.
Blade just disappeared from comics. They just stopped using him.
Yeah. So who dat? It's like I know 2 other people that are working on their early FFs. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to work on my FFs, but I'm not even at that level. I'm at like a novice level.
He lived at the end of the movie.
Whee! Rendar.
That's it.
Cool. All right, Dan, you want to lay it on us?
Rapid fire segment here, since I'm just going to throw as many as I can in no particular order.
All right.
Thor 112. That's a classic battle. Dovetails with Avengers 3, by the way. They battle off to the side.
You're killing
Silver
me.
Surfer. I've got.
I need that too.
I actually have 3 of these. This is my best one. Silver Surfer 4. Got it before it exploded.
From you.
Probably arguably the best cover in Marvel, if not it's certainly the top 10. Fun one. I always loved this because I love the cartoon in the 80s. So always a fun one. Got this one actually very, very inexpensive. First Ramatut, which we know is Kang. I thought he was going to show up in the Moon Knight series, but it became a standalone. First Clea, first Dormammu, Silver Surfer 50, Fantastic Four 50. Love the deep brown on this. Everyone makes fun of the brown cover. I don't care about it. I don't have any problem with it. But I wanted one that Stanley had signed on the surfboard, and I could have got it, damn it, but it got away from me. First Black Panther. This is, to this day, an undervalued book. They are going to figure out what to do with the Black Panther once they figure out, past Chadwick Boseman, the late, very talented actor, but they'll figure something out with it. But I've never had this or the origin from Avengers 87. And then I got a really nice, pretty X-Men 9 that I have yet to show. That's still an underrated book. And I'll finish off with probably my most potent books here. This one, one of the very few spec books I ever bought, for Spider-Woman, but signed by Stan Lee. That one
That's awesome.
I couldn't pass up because again
Somebody else had signed it too. Who else signed it?
On this one, no, just Stan Lee.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. He was one of his bigger signatures, but no, there's only one signature on this one.
Look at her on her right hand. It looks like there's a signature on her right hand.
No.
Okay.
No, it's just webbing in the background.
Okay.
And here's my heavy hitters here.
Yeah, he's bringing out his firebox.
First Doctor Strange. Bought this on eBay, $700, and let me tell you, that's all the money I had at the time. This is back in 2020. My heart was pounding because I thought, did I bid high enough? Did I bid high enough? I just made it. Because, on a bid like that, when so many people are bidding, the screen kind of freezes up. Mm-hmm. And if you're pressing the button, did it actually go through? Did you press, bid now or whatever? And I just got it. So anyway, it's in my collection. And these are probably two of my most expensive books here. First Loki. Couldn't pass that up. CBCS 40 white pages. So really, really pretty one. And this is newbie's favorite comic right here. Tales to Astonish 39, the first Iron Man. I had to save and save and save. This is by far my most expensive book. And there was a few books, one in particular that I had to pass up, and that was Tales to Astonish 91, the first cover appearance of the Abomination. Mm-hmm. 9.8, signed by Stan Lee. It was one in the world. And I thought, damn it, I have the money for it. But if I buy it, say goodbye to this. And it's a good thing I did because this basically doubled in price. Now, the prices have come down on these things here, but I learned my lesson from 9 years ago. If I sold it, I'll know I will never see this again. So my goal is to have this as a retirement book or give it to my kids after I'm gone. But my goal is to hang on to this, and I can say this is a deep, deep grail that's it more than complements my collection.
So great. So well, thank you so much, man, for showing us that. I'm going to show you my little rinky-dink Fantastic Fours. Hold
on. This is the same person that beat me twice on the Tony Sanders show.
Look, choosing covers and the quality of books, they're different. It's different.
Well, that's true.
So I'll show you guys. Man, it's going to be fast and furious. But I only have like 11 Silver Age. Well, I have 12. One's put up.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. This is a third appearance of Black Bolt and first appearance of Maximus. It's a really great book. Beautiful.
God, look at that cover.
It's so dark purple. I love it. But yeah.
Did you just get that?
I got this a couple of months ago from Comics for Cheap. And man, he has some really, really fire deals. I've gotten a couple of really excellent Fantastic Fours from him for super cheap. I got this back in the day off eBay for $18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Second appearance. Yeah.
Second appearance. So I could not afford the first, but hey, he's on the cover in this one. I'm down.
He is. Right.
Yeah, man, I love it. Then talking about them brown doo-doo, those Amber Heard covers. We've got I love the intergalactic stuff. So, Ronan the Accuser is a cool dude to me. And this is his first appearance. He's on the cover, and this is iconic to me. These are a couple of books my buddy hooked me up with. He's a big Fantastic Four collector, and these were some doubles that he had, and so he hooks me up with a 69 and a 70 and a 71.
I have that. That's a cool cover.
Yes.
That's a fun cover.
And then this one I got from Comics for Cheap. I would never thought I'd be able to afford a cover like this,
Oh, nice.
but this is a surprisingly affordable cover where you can get all your the Surfer and Galactus issue
You know
74.
that I was talking to Seth Lordley. He got the 77. If they go to the microcosm, which they will with the Bill Murray spec, that would tie into it because that was all micro universe stuff, subatomic universe rather.
Subatomica.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't have 77, so it jumps to 78. This
Nice.
was
Yeah.
a gift from Steven Spock, and this thing is a dang near most perfect condition FF I've seen. I mean, just
Look at that spine.
yeah.
Damn.
She's white. This girl,
Yeah.
she's not been dilly dallied with.
No.
She's
That
pretty,
is a slab candidate if I ever saw one.
yeah. Here's issue 80.
Lady, do you send stuff to CGC?
Nah, it's not my thing.
How about you, Rob? Yeah, I haven't either. I'm too afraid to do it.
That's not part of my collecting desires. Fantastic Four 88.
Yeah.
And it probably should be because I'm sure you could make more money on it, but that's just not what I'm doing this for.
When you're
Right.
ready to actually sell things.
This is first Agatha Christie. Not Agatha
Yeah,
Christie.
yeah, Christy. Yeah.
Agatha Harkness. Oh my gosh, Agatha. This is the first
Yeah.
Agatha Harkness. But
Yeah.
yeah, I prefer PGX.
Yeah.
This has got a grease stain on it, as you can see right here.
Oh, okay.
And so the guy put it up for $20.
Wow.
Yeah. Other than that, it's not in bad shape.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that it's grease stained,
Yeah.
but that doesn't affect the story.
How far did it go into through the cover, or does it?
Yeah, it goes through. It goes through. I'm pretty sure. It's been a minute since I flipped it on its back. I know there's a stain on the bottom that goes through, but it's like
Okay, all right. But it's still very readable then.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Okay.
I mean, it's totally readable. I cracked it open, went through it.
See, for $20, you can't pass that up.
No, and like
I paid a lot more for mine, and yours looks better.
Yeah.
I think I made an offer to a guy on eBay for $10, and he accepted because this
Wow.
is not in great shape. Like it's see that it's like
Right.
all messed up and ticked, but like even like it's still worth it. $10 and you can get these books. You know what I mean? I love this, and then I'll show you 117.
And that was a good story, by the way, too.
Yeah. Here's Agatha's up on here, I think. Well, no,
No, that's Crystal.
118.
She's on 119.
Yeah.
This one
and then
that
it
has the
jumps to
inverted colors on some of them.
Yeah,
120.
first Airwalker. There we go.
Yeah. That was an interesting and fun story. He was a machine, y'all. This is one of my favorite covers.
Yeah, yeah.
Period. These are obviously not Silver Age anymore, but yeah, just some of my Fantastic Fours I've been working on, and I've been having a really great time collecting those.
That's a great run. I mean, I've always considered, and again, when I was young enough to buy them, anything 200 and below, the stories are fantastic. Of no pun, they're outstanding. Let me use a different
I like
word here.
I'm gonna have to say I do like the John Byrne Fantastic Four.
I stand corrected. I just thought about that. Yeah, up through 250. When would John Byrne stop? 260 to 70?
No, he started on 232 and ended on 293.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorites was the Everyone Against Galactus. I think that was 2-4. God, I love that cover. I have a couple of those because even at the time when I bought it brand new off the rack, I thought, I've got to buy it. I just love this cover. I bought like 3 or 4 of them.
That one?
Yeah, that's no. It's that's
This is
what?
212.
What is it in the 300s? No. Shoot, I don't have it. I'll do it on the next when we do this again. It was Everyone versus Galactus. It was a John Byrne cover. It was a white background.
Oh, 243.
That's it.
It's 243. I know exactly
This
what
with
you're
this
talking
short.
about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me grab it real quick.
There it is. There it is. Look at that. I fell instantly in love with that cover.
Yes.
Look at that.
It is the most perfect cover.
Yes.
My
There was
old
another
comic
one.
shop owner owns the actual cover to that.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
too bad he's a douchebag.
Oh, isn't that always the case? Isn't that always the case? Yeah.
Douchebags have the coolest stuff.
That's true, sadly. The other one I loved was, I think it was Fantastic Four 320, Thing versus Hulk, but that was the one and only time the Thing beat the Hulk, because he was stronger. He mutated yet again, and Hulk shrunk down to a gray Hulk, and simply couldn't match the Thing's power. And I just loved that story because I'd always loved the Thing versus Hulk stories, and I was rooting for the Thing because I'm always rooting for the underdog.
Yep.
And finally, he got him. Finally, he got him.
Ben. Good old Ben. He's good.
Yeah.
Too. And then, of course, we've got this.
Yes. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Frankie Ray.
Yeah.
Frankie Ray, Herald of Galactus.
That's right. Oh, it's one of my goals to get every comic of first appearances of Herald for Galactus. I'm missing a couple. I'm missing the Destroyer, Journey to Mystery 118.
Oh, man.
And I think one or two others. I have everything else, though. So.
Well, you guys, we've come to the end of our journey into mystery.
Oh.
It's just but it's to be continued. We just like hanging and talking about the books that we love and sharing our collections and memories and just being nerds together. And for that, I appreciate everybody that hung out in the chat. And Dan and Rob, man, I thank you guys so much for joining me. I like having buddies that I can just be a kid with.
We're just all big. Thank you. We're all just big kids, and that's what I love about this show.
Yeah, just be honest, and we'll talk about the things that we love. I don't care if they're comic characters. I love them. Whatever.
Yeah.
And I just love looking at Dan's collection, going, "One day I've got to be just like him."
No, don't be like me. Trust me.
I'd say that about me too.
Look, you learn from your mistakes. You stayed with a plan that included budget, and you've got the books to show for it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you guys, we are going to sign off. I want everybody to have a good weekend and take care of yourselves. Be nice to yourselves. Be nice to others, and that's about all you can do.
Wash something.
Wash something. So no, it's more like wipe your booties front to back. It's it's biological. It's just healthier.